Hey everybody, welcome out to Weird Wednesday. This is John, live from the Old Crow Bar, with my good friend and uncle, suburban hobo, Daryl House. How you doing, Daryl?
Oh, doing great. Boy, what a few days. I mean, the Miami Heat is just kicking everybody's butt down here. My friend Scotty Spider McCluskey, he and I just went down to the Miami to the tennis tournament yesterday. Miami Hurricanes are doing great. And Florida Gulf Coast University, who the Eagles over there, where my two daughters graduated and get their 4-year degrees, is also marching through the March Madness tournament. So I'm excited. I'm having good times.
They look impressive.
You know, who would have thought? When Emily, my oldest, started going there were 7,000 students in their school.
Nice. Well, what do you have for us today?
Oh, I have something. Well, speaking of universities, Harvard. You know Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts? Well, Reuters is announcing that they've been cheating and they've been stripped of titles in the National Quiz Championships after it turns out that one of their competitors was actually involved in setting up questions for high school students. He accessed some websites and questions that he wasn't supposed to to see, and had an advantage for his teammates who won like 3 different titles in a row. Now, to give him the benefit of the doubt, said that he could only actually see the first 40 characters of a question. And they're saying, it could impact or not impact. So just, me and my brain's always going, I thought, well, how much can you say in 40 characters? So I just wrote down the first thing I could think of. Kentucky capital, Frankfurt, see, now I've got it all wrong. Kentucky capital, Frankfurt, not Louisville. That's 39 characters. So he probably didn't get much of an edge on this contest anyway. So anyway, that's what they're doing at Harvard. Now it turns out that he's very, very sad. His immaturity damaged the relationship with the NAQT, which is the quiz tournament people, and the other competitors on his team. So he's very, very sad that they're being stripped of their titles for 2009, 2010, and 2011.
I hate that.
It's Harvard.
Well, I was picking on Florida pretty hard last week. I'm sorry to actually go there again.
No!
Portia Gross allegedly hides crack cookie in her blank. Yeah, she made the crack into a cookie and put it in her privates, and she was pulled over. They found a blunt in the floor of her car, and they took her in, conducted a cavity search as they were booking her, and a rather large 3-inch across cookie fell out that sells for about $900 to $1,000.
She's got a big cookie.
All I could think of was, well, wow, hiding a cookie in your biscuit?
Okay, well, listen, I'm taking my stories out of order here, but since you're going there and you want to pick on Florida, here's a bit of an Ohio story, which actually came out of the New York Times, but there's an Ohio catch to it all. And this is my druggie story for the week. So it starts out, this is out of the New York Times. It said, if you're around in 1967, which I was, you were around for the summer of love and the freedom of the minds, and now it turns out that baby boomers or grandparents are reaching out to the marijuana thing again, and that they say that there's a huge increase of people over 50 who are once again smoking pot. And now that they're getting Social Security to buy it. but it goes on and on to say, it's like, there are a number of reasons. Number one, it's really, really a lot of fun. Number two, they're really not so concerned about job security anymore. And that's where the Ohio connection comes in. She says, let me play this here. The story goes on about how retirement has liberated many members of the older generation from concerns about work performance, as empty nesters their parenting responsibilities are also diminished. And the easing of legal restrictions around marijuana possession and consumption has also contributed to a social environment, I love this, in which grandparents playing pinochle can spark up a joint nearly as casually as they might crack open a bottle of Pinot Grigio.
Absolutely.
One interviewee in the New York Times piece had no qualms about even the possibility of her bosses identifying her from the newspaper's story, pictured in her Ohio home next to a blanket with a giant pot leaf on it. Cher Newfer proudly proclaims, "I don't care if they know." Sounds like a Stony to me. Another couple now in their 80s is named by the grandson who occasionally catches a buzz with them. I love that.
Nice.
The family that smokes together, jokes together. So that's my Ohio and my druggie story all tied up in one piece
Well,
here.
this a Lawrence urban massage therapist in Michigan accused of inappropriately touching client.
Yeah, baby.
Now I love this. It's a guy massage therapist, and during the massage of a female, he says, "Do you want an orgasm?" The lady says, "No." And so he says, "Well, your body's telling me your body's telling me one thing, but you're telling me another. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to listen to the body."
No is no. Yeah, I'm a father of daughters. No is no.
I hear you, but I thought, wow, how can you even try that? You're telling me one thing, but your body's telling me another.
Well, when I was in high school, I was stupid like that. I was like, I know you're saying no, but you really mean yes, don't you? But I was stupid into it. Well, anyway, this one also has a bit of a medical bent to it also. And from Zurich, and this is a Reuters story. I'm thinking maybe we ought to start giving people credit for this before they come chase us down one of these days. So this is from Reuters. A self-styled healer was sentenced to 12 years and 9 months in jail in a Swiss court where they found him guilty of infecting, he's an acupuncturist, they found him guilty of infecting 16 people with HIV.
Holy moly.
A Bern court found the man guilty of causing bodily harm and spreading the virus, which can cause AIDS. Prosecutors had sought 15 years. They gave less than that. The accused said nobody else is responsible. The court said the accused and nobody else is responsible for infecting these 16 people. The 54-year-old guilty man said he consistently denied the charges, blaming the victims for contracting HIV through unprotected sex and intravenous drug use. The case came to the attention of the authorities after an HIV-positive patient told a hospital he suspected his infection came through an acupuncturist, and the majority of the individuals who were infected were students at a music school run by the man who also had an acupuncture practice. And some of the victims told the court that he stabbed them with a needle from behind during the treatment. So that's the old conundrum of if you have a beautiful woman, if you're in bed with three people, one's a beautiful woman on one side and you have a gay man on the other side, which way do you turn when you go to sleep? So anyway, that's my stories for today.
That's why I don't do acupuncture.
Yeah.
My last one is from right here in good old Butler County, Ohio.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know if you heard, but earlier, in fact yesterday, we got smacked down with snow again. So the Butler County prosecutor has filed a criminal indictment against Puxatawny Phil.
I saw that headline, but I didn't read the whole thing. That's Middletown?
Yeah, well, Butler County.
Same thing.
So since Puxatawny Phil's handler has said that he is responsible, the Butler County, Ohio prosecutor, Michael Mosier, told the AP that he's reconsidering the charges in light of the new evidence and may issue a full pardon. So, but at least they're starting to make Puxatawny Phil, they're starting to make him take credit for his actions.
You know what? We've talked in the past about, aren't our juries, our courts jammed up with enough crap as it is?
Well,
My God.
I don't know. I'm pretty upset with Puxatawny Phil when I woke up yesterday with snow.
What's it called? Culpable negligence? Oh, John.
I'm
Too
thinking
much fun today.
absolutely. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. I will see everybody next week.
Go Heat.
Absolutely. We'll see ya.